Woo, okay. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brandon in here with another video for you guys today. Really trying to grind out these videos for you, so hopefully you appreciate it. But today we're going to be talking about long-term investing versus options trading, what they look like, which one's better, which one's worse, and just kind of go over bullet points, what I think is the best about them, what I think may not be so great about them. So yeah, that's what we're going to be getting into. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe. I need all of you guys to subscribe to my channel to help it grow. Really goes a long way in helping out my channel. So yeah, again, I don't like to talk about that too much, but I appreciate all the support. But the reason I wanted to do this video today is because, especially on Reddit, I always see people leaning back and forth whether or not they want to do options or invest in long-term stocks, and under that category. So that's why I really want to break them down today and kind of get you guys, I guess, a peek behind the curtain on the different breakdowns of each one of them. So let's go ahead and start with the long-term investing. So the number one point you need to know with long-term investing is that it is definitely the most consistent thing to do in the stock market. Whether it's buying growth stocks, buying value stocks, dividend stocks, whatever you want to do, is by far the most consistent. And when I say trading credit spreads is consistent, investing in stocks long term is way more consistent than that. I want to make that very clear. Because as much as I want to say credit spreads are very consistent, they're not nearly as consistent as investing consistently. It's just not. So make sure to keep that in mind, please. Please, please. But now, since they are very consistent, usually it's more slow and steady than it is fast and rapid. Unless you invested in the middle of March, stuff does not normally shoot up 100% in equity within the year, or so on and so forth, because a lot of people are happy with 20 to 25% gain in a year. That's actually considered a very good year when you're investing in stocks and equities. So I know with an option play, I've talked about it before, how some can make you 1,000% in a day. With stocks, you're not going to get that unless you're GLSI and you basically come up with a cure for cancer. And something that people overlook a lot with long-term investing is that it is the most guaranteed way to make you rich. And I'm sure you've heard a lot of videos talking about, okay, if you invest 20 plus years at a consistent rate, you become a millionaire. And as boring as that sounds and as long as that sounds, it is the most guaranteed way to become rich. Whether you like to admit it or not, if you want to have a low risk way to do it, investing in stocks and ETFs especially is the most guaranteed thing to get you your money. So if you're just looking at it just to make money by the time you retire, 1,000,000% just long-term invest. Don't even worry about anything else. And another great thing about long-term investing compared to options is that it is by far easier to manage a long-term position than it is an options position. And the reason why I say that, the biggest thing that stands out to me with that is that options, they expire. So you really are under the thumb and under the clock to really manage that position correctly, or else you could lose a lot of money. As opposed to long-term stocks, if you're invested in something and you think it's going to go down, you can just hold it and ride it out for another year with zero problems. You're not going to lose your total investment within the week. So that's definitely something that puts you peace of mind, is that it's very, very hands off. You don't even have to think about it at all. You just can put your money in and stop thinking about it. And I think that's a huge plus, especially if you're really committed to your job that you're in. It helps out so much. And I kind of touched on it earlier, but it's a slow builder. So especially if you have like a monthly deposit that comes into your account, it just slowly builds up your account. You'll see almost like a stair step kind of a thing. So it's a lot more gratifying and fulfilling, I think, to see your long-term account slowly grow up. It hopefully, as long as you're not doing anything too crazy speculative with your long-term investing, It'll be like a linear thing. It'll just keep going up consistently and steadily. Unless you invested in Tesla at like $40, in which I have to say, congratulations. And probably one that a lot of people don't consider, but they really should, is that long-term investing is by far the least stressful type of investing. And now, why I say that, even compared to short-term investing, if you're just looking to mainly swing trade stocks, you really have to be correct or you're going to lose some money. And that's just kind of the simple fact of it, especially compared to options trading. It is far less stressful than options trading, especially the shorter time frame and expirations you're doing your options. That can get extremely stressful, especially if the option or the play is going against you. You really feel a lot of heat on you. But with long-term investing, like I said earlier, if it goes down even a week, even a month straight, your stock goes down, you can have ease of mind knowing that eventually it's going to come back up and that you have no time frame in mind. You're just investing for it for the long term, for forever, maybe for the rest of your life. Maybe you're going to give it to your kids. Who knows what you're doing with that? But there's literally zero stress on your plate unless they go bankrupt. But if you're investing in good quality companies, that's probably not going to happen. But now that we've kind of brushed over the long-term side of things, now let's talk about options and kind of get into that. Now, the first point I want to go with it is that options trading is very volatile. And if you don't know what that means, it moves a lot. I've mentioned this in previous videos before, but 1 minute you can be up like 80%, and the next minute you can be down like 30%. It can just happen so very, very quickly with options, especially on the time frame on which you have the option. So if you don't mind seeing your account value fluctuate a ton, then options are your man. And this is definitely a big miss with it, but options, they can be very inconsistent, especially if you're doing it on shorter time frames, like I keep mentioning, because shorter time frames, you have to be pretty dang accurate in order to get your money. Now, in the previous point, how it's volatile, if you're right, shoot, you'll make more in a week than you can possibly make in a year with stocks. But if you're wrong, you can lose all that money you put in, which sucks and hurts really bad if that ever does happen. And relating to all that, it just has very fast movement compared to long-term investing, because you can, especially if you day trade options, in and out, in and out, in and out. You're just trying to make all these crazy scalp moves, moves on the market. It's just much, much faster than long-term investing. And something that I think a lot of people really build in their heads that they kind of need to think about is, I believe options trading to a lot of people is a false sense of getting rich. And why I say that is, if you look at just Wall Street bets, for example, you see people making massive amounts of money. And yeah, for the very, very select few people, that happens and it works, and great for them. Hopefully they're smart with that money. But the mass majority of people that try to do stuff like that, they're going to lose all their money, and they're not going to become rich that way. Rich, you have to be consistent and build slowly. Wealth doesn't come overnight. Wealth is built up over time. And that's what a lot of people with options trading don't fully understand. And if you are going to trade options, I feel like you have to have that in your mind. And now, options trading compared to long-term investing, options trading can be a little bit much to manage sometimes, especially if you have a lot of open positions. It can be a lot to try to always execute the closing, or to close the options, or to be looking at getting new positions, as opposed to long-term investing. You can just buy it and just stop thinking about it. With an option, you almost have to think about it the entire time you have it, because the fluctuations can happen a lot and you have to get out at a good price. There's just a lot that goes into trading in options. But from that, it can be an incredibly fast builder if you're on a hot streak, or if you know what you're doing, loosely. Because it definitely can build up your account. Say you hit 1,000% play on $1,000, and that means you're ending that week with like 10 grand. And a stock is not going to do that in a week. But with an option, if you play it correctly, you can do that. Now, you definitely got to bake in the fact that you're going to definitely lose some plays. I mean, that's just the fact of life. But you can definitely exponentially grow your account if you hit the plays correctly. And that's always a little carrot that's dangled in front of your face that you always want to go and get, but just something to consider. And probably my favorite reason to options trade is that it's a great way to take advantage of the market in volatile times. And the reason why it's my favorite one is just, for an example, in March when everything was dropping. Yeah, as long as you're long-term investing, it was a little bit worrisome, but you're just holding on to the bag, not worrying. But if you were able to take advantage as a trader and say just in general buy puts, you could have made a lot of money doing that. And I'm sure you probably were sitting very pretty and very happy, and you might have even over doubled your long-term investment portfolio. Who knows what you did with those gains? That's not up to me. But that's probably my favorite thing with options, is that long-term investing is amazing, but during those scary times, options trading can really come in handy and kind of balance you out a little bit. And so now my conclusion between the two, vast majority of people only long-term invest. Long-term investing is tried and true, proven to make you the most rich over time consistently. Now, for the people that either have extra time on their hands or are just really wanting to try it out, options trading is amazing, but even if you want to options trade, you need a long-term account. You need it to balance out whenever you blow up your account or you're not having a great week. Because at the end of the day, you'll always be able to hold equities, you won't always be able to hold options. And I think that's really important to know. So what generally I try to do, a good rule of thumb is just to have around 90% or more in stocks and equities or bonds, whatever you want to put them in, and then do the other 10% or less into options. So either for your little YOLO plays, credit spreads, whatever you want to do, should be 10% or less of your total overall account value. And that's the smartest way to do it. So that way you have consistent growth, mainly with most of your money, and then you can leverage your small amount of money to, if you're lucky, create a huge amount of money. So that's kind of the differences and build-offs of it. So I think it's smart to have both, but definitely way heavier towards the long term. But that was my video today, guys, on long-term investing versus options trading. What do you guys think about it? Drop down in the comments below on what your opinions on it. Do you like one more than the other? Do you think one is dumb? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know below. I'd love to hear your feedback. And thank you for watching this video today. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe. I am trying to put out videos Monday through Friday with a Sunday night watch list. So if you're interested in those, please subscribe and like the video. It goes a long way. But with all those things being said in the video, I hope you guys have a great day.